Page 12, the Shepherd's Flute. 4/4 time, no sharps or flats in the key signature, but we're sort of in this key. It's sort of a Dorian mode type thing. Oh. Let's check notes and rhythms first. Now I'm not spoon feeding you notes. I assume that on this, once you get to this level, that you know these notes, you know the names of the notes, you know what they are, you know where they are on the keyboard. I don't have to point them out. So I'm not pointing them out. So let's start here. 5th finger on A, here. To start is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2. You gotta bring thumb down. So we just move. Now they want you to lift up and move up. I don't recommend it. I mean, you can if you want to. I don't recommend it. I would prefer to just stay there, reach up with a little finger and play a 5 and then a 2. But just, we do this kind of thing a lot in piano. I think it's safer than moving here to here, especially with the same finger. So I would go, in 3rd measure it would be 5-2. Measure 5, it's going to be thumb on the A now. That's okay. B flat there. I know what it sounds like. I don't want to know. Just play it. Then cross over 3rd finger. Then thumb comes down. Now here you have a choice. You can go ahead and play measure 8, 2nd finger. You want. And then for measure 9, it's a bass clef. For the next measure, you got to come down, put 3rd finger on the F here. To prepare for that, if you want, play that half note and measure 8 with a little finger. That way you're closer to where you want to be. You don't have to move as far. So that measure 8 would be more like that. 2, 3, 5, something like that. And that's really a good habit to get it, to be able to use different fingers on repeated notes. You don't do it all the time, but you do it sometimes. So if you can practice doing that, this is a fairly nice slow piece, and this is a good piece to practice that on. So it's just 2, 3, 5. Then you're ready for the 3. You don't really even have to use 3. I could use 1, and then scratch up and use 4. So I could do that. And then for the last one, you treble clef back and you get a D and an A, and you just lift up and move. Doesn't have to be real quick move or anything, just lift up and move. Left hand, well, a D and an A, and that's tied for 2 measures. And again, and that's tied for 2 measures. Oh, this is fun, isn't it? In fact, this is all the left hand does until the very last measure when you get treble clef. And you come up here 2 octaves up and play this D and A. Well, so much for the left hand. Let's put them together. 1, 2, 3. The idea, I hope. Last 2 measures, you're here. Both hands are moving, but they're moving the same distance because you're here and you gotta go to here. And you're just 2 octaves up. So hopefully you can do that. Articulation, there isn't any. You got slurs here. You can lift up between the slurs, lift. Pedal's gonna cover it up, but okay. So anyway, do it anyway. Lift up between the slurs in the right hand whether you hear it or not. You want to feel the phrases. Dynamics, that's for the right hand. Moderately soft, whatever you think sort of soft is. The left hand's very soft. And that's hard to do because you're way down here. That's hard to get that low on a piano and get really soft. Good luck. Now measure 3, you're going to come up to moderately loud. Right there. That's the middle of your hairpins. That's the hard. Louder. Back down. Now you got hairpins. You're going to swell up again. And the middle of the hairpins, this is the E, D, F. That's sort of in the middle. That's your loudest part. So moderately soft. Alright, go down to soft here, on here. And now you're already soft, so stay there. Now very soft, well you're very soft anyway. In the left hand you should be soft, very soft anyway. And then the last measure is extremely soft, super duper soft in both hands, where you can hardly hear it at all. And if you'll just kind of stroke the keys as you come down, it helps on an acoustic piano. Electronic pianos are a different thing. You have to experiment on your electronic. How soft can you get it without adjusting the volume? How soft can you get it? On an acoustic, you just kind of gently come down at it, stroke it a little bit. Loose wrists, this kind of thing. And you get it really soft. Try and get all 4 notes down at the same time. Then on top of that, they've added pedal. Well, let's look at why they're adding pedal and what we're doing with it. Because if you're going to use pedal, there ought to be a reason for it. You don't just use it. And what they're doing here at the beginning is they're connecting. Because you have to play them again and you can't connect it. You need pedal for that. And that's all they're doing, is just connecting these left-hand chords. Well, it messes up the phrasing in the right hand, but it seems to be more important to them to connect the chords. Alright, fine. So at the end of the second measure, I'm here. I push the pedal down after I play the notes. And I'm going to release the pedal after I play the notes in the next measure. Right there. All I'm doing is connecting the chord. That's all we're doing until the very end. The last line, then you keep it down for the whole line. And that's going to be a trick, because you're starting out low, measure 10. And they want you to keep it down all the way. Well, all these low notes are going to continue to sound. So you got to play these notes, the last measure, very, very soft. So the whole thing kind of dies. It sounds at this point like you played all those notes at the same time. You're blending them together. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to say. I don't know what I'm saying. And then the hands and the pedal come up at the end after you're done holding it. Actually, what you can do on that last measure, because you're here, well, you got all this sound coming here. And then at the end, you release the keys. Keep your hands on the keys, just release the keys, and then slowly lift the pedal. And that way the dampers slowly touch the strings, and it just slowly kills the sound. You don't want all this wonderful sound, and then all of a sudden, nothing. It's like, whoa, what happened? Let it die away. Now on an electronic piano, if you can't do that, then you simply reach up to the volume and you slowly turn the volume down, and it gives you the same effect. And that's really the pedal. I think there is one error in the music I'll point out, and that is at the end of the second line. You're here, this is measure 6. Going next, there's no pedal. And I see no reason for no pedal. So in my opinion, there should be a pedal indication to connect measure 6 to measure 7, just like all the other pedal markings. So I suggest you draw in a pedal marking there, so you can connect these chords in the left hand. Now Andante is a stroll. It's not slow, it's just whatever you it's just a gentle slow. It's not a moderate speed, it's on the slow side of moderate. It's a range, you have to feel it, I'm not sure. Picture in your mind a flute playing this. There's different kinds of flute. It's not necessarily the kind of orchestra flute we have today. There are all kinds of flutes. So think about some old Google what a flute might look like or sound like, and that's sort of what you're thinking about here. Now on measure 8, they're pedaling that whole measure, and that's really to connect the Ds. We want all sound there, so we're pedaling all that measure. And then lift it up after you play the notes in the next measure. There, because in measure 10 you do the same thing, except measure 10, 11, and 12 you're holding it down for all of it. I like to play this with you very slowly. Well, it is a slow piece, so we'll go close to how fast it goes. I'm not going to do the dynamics, but I will do the pedaling and all that. So I'll give us 4 counts. Let's just try it together. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3.